worst stage in a relationship is when you start hating your girlfriend. Hearing her talk irritates you. You don't even have conversations with her anymore because you'll get annoyed. Somewhere along the line, you just stopped seeing her like you used to. You hyper-focus on every little thing she does.
There's been this trend going around TikTok called I Hate My Girlfriend that seems to have been picking up around late 2024, but I'm sure still goes on till today. But what interests me the most isn't the trend itself, but the reaction from both sides of the dating pool. From comments that sound concerned, to comments that go straight into bold generalizations that end up raising the tension between both sides of the gender. But what we've got in the secret room today doesn't feel like a trend. It feels like a chance to look deeper, to get past the surface level of no reason breakup logic and actually see how things fall apart. Now, what makes this episode more important is we've seen both sides of this pattern right here on the show. We've either her first vent from a lady or expressed how she felt about someone she really liked, was very unmotivated to move their life forward, and now we're seeing a guy on the show saying the same thing about his girlfriend who has been with for 7 years. So, with both stories side by side, we're finally in a position to look at this very clearly, and with all seriousness aside, since we have our first lady and now we have our first guy on the show, I think I can finally say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the secret room. Guess what happened today, guys? We got our first brother and our first secret on the show. He says, I enjoyed your video. Keep up the great work. Thank you, bro. I would have gone on Reddit, but after seeing a woman ask for advice about a husband refusing to change their baby's diaper, and then reading all the replies telling her to just divorce him or become a single mom, I decided to come here instead. You're welcome. I've noticed a trend, people coming from Reddit over to the secret room. Hey, I'm not mad about that. Revolution. I'm a 27-year-old guy and I've been with my girlfriend, also 27, for 7 years. The truth is, I really hate my... Oh my god. I really hate my girlfriend. Damn. Ooh, this one's hard to go back from, bro. Okay. She has no career, no ambition, and nothing going for her. Now she's pressuring me to either marry her or give her a baby. Oof. She's talking about having multiple kids. What? She's talking about having multiple kids and just my income. And to be honest, where we live isn't stable at all. A while back, she ended a friendship with someone who actually has goals and drive. That still bothers me because I talked to that friend before the friendship ended, and the difference between them hit me hard. She's 5 years younger than us, and we had a real conversation about the future, kids, stability, and long-term planning. She says she only wants children, but only after hitting a savings goal that would let her stay home comfortably without being completely dependent on a partner. Alright. She and her partner made a plan together, and they're actually working towards it as a team. Meanwhile, my girlfriend plays Xbox all day. I work from 4 a.m. to 6 p.m. and she still expects me to come home and cook because she can't handle touching meat, even though she wants to eat it every single day. I'm exhausted, and it feels like I'm being dragged towards a future I do not want with someone who wouldn't even meet me halfway. Yes. Don't have kids right now, bro. See, I don't usually just jump into advice and stuff, but for this one, before we go into anything, do not have any kids right now. Like, do not fall for the trap. Let's go. So let's break down why it's feeling this way. Let's break down why you're feeling this way. One thing that first comes to my mind is the feeling of hate. That's why I went into that at the beginning of the video. So I was just thinking, like, a lot of people might be like, oh, isn't this the same trend that's happening? It's more like not random. It's more of, you know, some deep underlying problems that your own words frankly reveal. I think about the conversation with your girl's ex-friend. You said that moment hit you hard. Why? Because I think it was a reflection. Because for the first time after that conversation, you saw a clear picture of what a true partnership would look like in terms of teamwork, planning, and, you know, shared goals. And that made it really impossible for you to ignore what you were missing. You know, you might have tried to have this conversation before, and it just probably goes right over her head, and it doesn't actually work. So you talking to someone and actually having that, you know, back and forth was kind of interesting, you know. And the action of her ending the friendship with that person, I'm not sure why, but I'm guessing there's a probability that you told her about that in an attempt to, bring about the same feeling that you got back, and maybe that kind of like chiseled away at the relationship, and then she ended up the friendship. Those things are really possible. And if that's the case, it shows that she's not just unmotivated, she's actively threatened by, the ambition, and then pushes away anyone else who might be a challenge to her to grow. And then there's a part where you kind of talk about her not handling being able to touch meat. It's not just simple, it's more than that. It's more like a comparison. Like, I go to work all this time and your main complaint is you can't touch meat. Like, do you know what I do at work? It sounds small, but it's a really perfect symbol for the whole relationship. Again, it basically just implies that, I want all the benefits of this relationship without any effort. And I'm thinking about it this way: you probably don't have the energy left to go cook some food after. You might, but that might also affect your diet and your overall spend, because you might actually be spending more money trying to get food instead of actually saving money getting food, which also affects your diet, the overall mental health, and everything in between. A partnership is directly about moving forward together. Like right now, it feels like you're trying to row a boat and she's not even holding an oar. And that feeling of being dragged into the future you don't want kind of hints at an apparent eluding energy of powerlessness in the conversation that you've probably tried to have to move the relationship past the stage of wandering around and just dragging through it. And that doesn't mean you're a bad person. You're really exhausted from carrying the weight of two futures all by yourself. And if that's fine, maybe if you're a millionaire you won't care. But even if you're a millionaire and you didn't care, it's still a really bad reflection of your partner, because you're probably talking to people out there and then you see how they have collaboration, and that's not great. And the question is not how do I fix her, it's more about how longer can I do this alone. One thing that I actually would recommend firstly is, even if you're so mad and you're not sure how to approach her, you've done this many times, maybe just try again from one perspective. I think just imagine you're training to talk to your daughter. Is there something that's bothering you that's making you stay on Xbox all day? And if she gives you some excuses, I don't think you should take that to heart and then use that to lengthen the problem again, because you're just gonna lead to burnout. So you can just listen but be firm with yourself. I really want to do all these things you're saying, but I don't think it's the best for us to do it if we're not on the same page. Basically something like that. You can only try your best for so long. If that inspires some patience to be able to just talk through her, hopefully that works. But because it's been 7 years, it might take a lot of practice and work to fall out of that cycle, And I'm pretty sure you've been trying, and right now it's just a tipping point. And whatever happens after, you've been winning. You've been doing all the work. You're going to be fine. You're going to be able to bounce back. Just keep working. Save all your money. Do not try to, just save all your money. Try to protect yourself, protect your peace. And yeah, I wish you the best. And thank you again for being on the show. If you don't know me, my name is Fealomath. If you'd like to be a part of the show, visit fealomath.com. If there's a 500,000 pound man in your neighborhood that's always being visited by an ice cream man, let's talk about him. He needs to get better. He needs to hit the gym. Alright. Thank you guys again. See you guys in the next one. Bye.